Well, hello there. Welcome back to the channel. My name is James, and here at 20th and 21st Movies, we are about all things cinema. She-Hulk Episode 3, She-Hulk Attorney at Law on Disney Plus, the third episode, The People versus Emil Blonsky. What do I think of this episode? Well, let's talk about it. This is the third episode in this TV series that's been airing on Disney Plus, and so far I've really been enjoying it. The first two episodes, I think, especially that first episode, was a really nice setup to the She-Hulk character. Of course, for those of you who may not know, She-Hulk is Jennifer Walters. She's an attorney at law, and she happens to be the cousin of the Hulk, Bruce Banner, played by Mark Ruffalo in the MCU movies. And of course, Bruce Banner is the Hulk in the comics. And so she's his cousin, Jennifer Walters. In the first episode, you see how she gets her powers, and it sort of establishes the character, is a nice setup for the rest of the series. Episode 2 continues the story about, how now that she's She-Hulk, she runs into some problems and some issues. She has a change in job status. She moves to a new job in a law firm where she's now the head of a superhuman law division. And her first client is Emil Blonsky, who is the Abomination, who tried to kill the Hulk, Bruce Banner, several years ago. Of course, definitely check out episodes 1 and 2 to get the full story on it. I don't want to spoil it for you, but suffice to say that in episode 3, The People versus Emil Blonsky is in incarceration and he's up for parole, and Jennifer Walters has him as a client and she's trying to win his release on parole. So that's a big part of the episode. And one of the things I really like about this series so far is I like the tongue-in-cheek nature of this series. I like the fact that Jennifer Walters, she breaks the fourth wall. So she's doing her thing, and then she'll turn to the camera and talk directly to the audience. And I really like that. And that's something that, hails back to the comic books. Before Deadpool did the whole break the fourth wall thing, She-Hulk was the first one to do it before he did it. So she is sort of the OG of breaking the fourth wall in comic books, at least in Marvel Comics. And I think I love that aspect of the series, how she'll break the fourth wall, turn to the camera, and talk directly to the audience. I like the fact that they incorporate that, and I like the fact that they don't overdo it. They do it just enough to keep it interesting, and so I really appreciate that. And I just appreciate the fun, tongue-in-cheek nature of this series. This is a show that is not taking itself too seriously. It's not trying to be a serious show. It's more of a comedy, lighthearted, fun, just stupid type humor type of a show. And I've heard a lot of people criticizing this show, and I feel like people might be taking it a little bit too seriously, taking it more seriously than the show itself is intending to be. It is just intended to be a fun, silly, stupid diversion. This is the type of a show that's not supposed to be graded on the same curve as a Game of Thrones or Breaking Bad, okay? This is a different type of show. This is a show you want to just have fun, enjoy, get a few laughs, and just move on, right? It's not something to take all that seriously. And that's how I'm taking it. It's sort of a break from my, Criterion collection, high art cinema that I like to get into in addition to other forms of entertainment. This is that corner of entertainment that I like to consume that is just a silly diversion. And that's what I'm taking it for. So she's defending Emil Blonsky, trying to win his parole. And then one of her former co-workers, Pug, played by Josh Segarra, in this episode, he plays a bit of a jerk in this series. He's a bit of a jerk. He objectifies women and treats women as objects. And they really kind of play that up in this series. And in this episode, he has actually filed a case against an Asgardian fairy who has impersonated none other than Megan Thee Stallion. Yes, Megan Thee Stallion appears in this episode in a cameo appearance. She appears in a few scenes, and you'll definitely want to check it out. You'll definitely want to check out that post-credit scene. So definitely check out the post-credit scene. That's going to be all over Twitter. It's going to break the internet. She-Hulk can dance. She's got some moves. So I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, I mean, Megan Thee Stallion appears in this episode. You have, you have this whole storyline of her coworker trying to win a case against this fairy who impersonated Megan Thee Stallion. And so just a crazy storyline. But that's the other major storyline in this episode that I thought was pretty funny. Benedict Wong appears in this episode as Wong, and of course he plays a very important part in the parole case for Emil Blonsky, and that adds some laughs to the proceedings. So overall, I really enjoyed this third episode of She-Hulk Attorney at Law on Disney+. So far, so good. Again, I'm not taking it too seriously. I'm just taking it as silly, crazy fun, and that's exactly what I'm getting out of it. I love the fact that these episodes are relatively short. They're short and sweet. You can just absorb them in a matter of less than 30 minutes, get the content, enjoy it, get a few laughs, and move on with the rest of your day. So that's exactly what I did here, and I enjoyed She-Hulk Episode 3. But let me know in the comments section below if you've seen Episode 3 of She-Hulk Attorney at Law on Disney+, and if so, what do you think about it? And also let me know what other TV series are you into right now. I know I'm into House of Dragon. I've just gotten into that. I've seen the first 2 episodes of that. Cannot wait for the 3rd episode coming up this Sunday. I am just all in. I am back in with Game of Thrones. After being done after season 8 with Game of Thrones, I'm now all the way back in, and I am really enjoying House of Dragon. Let me know in the comment section below if you also are watching House of Dragon and what other TV shows you are watching in addition to She-Hulk as well. As always, thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time at the movies. Peace.